Hey guys, it's Jasper, and today I'm going to be organizing a new bookshelf. So I'm very excited, obviously, about doing that. It's always fun when you get to organize a new shelf. As you guys can see here are some of my books I'm gonna start with. I'm not really sure how much I want to put on the shelves. So I've grabbed those ones. I'm thinking I'd like to put my Joyce up on the shelf, maybe some of my fairy tales that I really like, or the fairy tales that I like, the fairy tales that I have, as well as maybe poetry, and I'm thinking about maybe doing my TBR books, putting them on the shelf so that way they are in the heart of my living room, as you can kind of see, so then I would be seeing these books every day and yeah, being encouraged to keep reading and to not pick up other books, remembering that I've got a shelf of books to read already. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Comment down below any of the books look interesting, and I'd be sure to do reviews on them. Cheers. Hey guys, the video cut out while I was organizing, and I obviously didn't really notice because I was organizing my shelf, so sorry if you wanted to see more, although it was really just me moving the books around, moving stuff of the books around, and blah 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 blah. Anyways, so I thought I would give you guys a look at my shelves, how I've got them. So this is just far away. Aha! And I'm gonna go up a little closer to the books. So on the top shelf here, I put poetry books. I've got Irish poetry, my T.S. Eliot that I love, T.S. Eliot, Yeats, Keats. Those are my big faves. And then I've got some Pablo Neruda, Lewis Carroll, and Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, that sort of thing. So first shelf, I've got just poetry, and then I just put a little stopper down here at the end because I have to go through my other shelves and see if I want to add some more stuff. So for now, I've just got that in this little colorful block. The next shelf is some of my Joyce. So we've got Dubliners, Portrait of the Artist, my 2 copies of Ulysses, and Finnegan's Wake. Next to it, I also just have my husband and I, we went our honeymoon we took in Sardinia, and one of our friends actually got us a bottle of wine that was from Sardinia, so we kept it, and I thought it'd be nice to display on the shelf. The next shelf is not quite as full, but that's because these are the books that I am currently reading or currently working with, and so it's a shelf that I want to be fairly empty so that way I can I have room to add and stack books on there because I have the bad habit of leaving books everywhere. So this is the shelf of books that I need to access on a daily, weekly basis. So I've got 3 of these books here are books that I'm reading with my students. And then Fairy, Faith, and Celtic Countries is the big book of criticism that I am reading. And Diana Gabaldon's Diana Gabaldon's Dragonfly and Amber is the current book that I'm reading. So I like to keep a critical book and a in a fun kind of fantasy story that I'm reading. So these are my books that I am reading right now. Next shelf down here is probably my favorite, and I'm really happy that it was able to have its very own shelf. These are my fairy tales here. So we've got Brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, Paralet, George MacDonald, 1001 Tales of Arabian Nights, Irish Fairy and Folk Tales, The Turnip Princess and Other Stories. So a lot of really fun fairy books. And again, I used one of these blockers because I have just a little bit of room that it wasn't quite filling up. And I do have more fairy tales, but they're books that are on my TBR list, so they'll be added to the shelf. And when that happens, there actually won't be enough room for all of them. But for now, it works pretty good. It's pretty full. So these last two shelves here are my TBR books. About half of the books I've actually already half read, or like a third of the way read, or almost have finished reading, but I just haven't finished them. And that has a lot to do with the nature of the books. Quite a few of these are collections of fairy stories and folklore, so it's easy to pick them up and then drop them, and pick them up and drop them, or mythology. And then the other big chunk, a lot of them are critical works. So again, it's easy to read like a chapter that's prevalent to the research that I'm currently doing, but I haven't gotten to finish it yet because I was working on a paper, so I read 3 or 4 chapters of the critical work and then never finished it because I was working on the paper, and then I put the book down, and then I started other books. So quite a few of these books, like I said, I have already actually started reading, or I have got about halfway through them. And so I've put them on the shelf, that way I just remember about them, I finish them up, and then I can move them to their places where they belong, and keep them organized. The only book that's sort of an exception on this list, right in here, that technically it's on the TBR, but it's to be reread, would be The Brothers Karamazov, which I've got right here. I read this book on my honeymoon about 2 years ago for the first time, and I really, really loved it. But again, I read it 2 years ago, and if anyone has read Brothers Karamazov or any kind of Russian literature, it's thick and dense, and there's so much stuff. And so I'd like to reread it because I feel like there's a lot of stuff I've missed, and there's things and themes I want to review, and yeah, just to give it a good reread. So this is my TBR shelf. Yay! So that is a full look over of my new bookshelf. I'll do it one more time. So, poetry, Joyce, current reads, fairy tales, TBR, and TBR. Yay! Anyways, I am so excited about this new shelf. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, enjoyed hanging out with me while I reorganize my shelf. Have a good day, and cheers!